Whoa. Oh, that's not good. Probably cast at this point, so ankle deep water. Fish. Nice spot, guys. Golly, that's a really nice spot for here. Y'all, it's overcast, really windy today, and we're gonna try to do some true fall fishing today. Got the Crush 25 in Black Magic Chartreuse Belly, black and blue. Got us a nice spotted bass to start. It's on a Sioux Dark Wolf with 6-pound line and a Sioux Dragon too. And if you notice, guys, he's got craw antennas coming out of his gullet, so we might be targeting that. I got some chatterbaits with a Metacraw on it. We might throw that too. There's another little spotted bass, guys, on the Black Magic. I light another cigarette, learn to forget, learn to forget, learn to forget, learn to forget. Okay, guys, there's the first largemouth. He kind of hit it funny, but if you're fishing real murky water in the fall, guys, that Black Magic will crush, I'm telling you. Wow. Nice largemouth in the current, guys. And guys, right behind me is the culprit of why Eagle Mountain is like 10 to 12 feet low, and this body of water where I'm at is a few feet low but not super low. Just gushing water coming out, still just spilling out from the bottom part of Eagle Mountain here. Tons of current flowing through here. Way more than like normally. Normally it's a slow trickle, but it is just ripping out of there, so they got it open quite a ways. I bumped a rock with that Black Magic 25X, and this guy smashed it. That's strong current for a largemouth to be sitting in too. Another fish. That's a spot. Golly, look at how chunky these fish are. They must just sit right below that current and eat stuff all day long. That is the weirdest looking bass I've ever caught. He's got like a stunted tail. Really, really funky looking spot there, guys. Have y'all ever seen a spotted bass shaped like that? That is weird. Fish. There we go. Little white bass, guys. Can't say I'm surprised by that. That's honestly what I was expecting to be sitting out in front of here. I expected some big ones of these to be sitting out in front of that current, but none so far until this guy. Oh, that's not good. Well guys, so I looked down and I noticed that water was coming in just a little bit faster than normal. Almost all the way up to the base of my transom board, and there's a big leak right by the drain plug. Massive hole. So we're gonna try to get back to the boat ramp before my boat sinks, I guess. And to top it off, right before I made that discovery, snagged that Crush 25 up and broke my Dragon 2 rod off about 6 inches down. And so yeah, what was gonna shape up to be a really good trip today, guys, is a utter nightmare. My boat is probably cashed at this point, so ankle deep water. And where I'm at right now, I can't get on plane and make a plug run and just dump it all out but yeah, guys, what I was saying, I can't just open it up all out and go through here. There's stumps everywhere. I hit a stump with the transom the way it is right now, and my whole boat's going down. So I'm limping back. Probably gonna have to get a new boat. That rod's broke. But yeah, y'all are probably witnessing the death of my tiny boat right here, unfortunately. The writing was kind of on the wall, but I think this is the straw that's gonna break its back, unfortunately. Right in the middle of a good bite, too. Just terrible. If you see this footage, it means that I've made it back to the boat ramp, but I was able to make it back to the boat ramp, guys. Got it on the trailer, made it back to my parents' house, and then I helped my dad jack this side of the boat up off the trailer. We took the hammers and pounded the dent out that the stump made, and then we took some more mallets and pounded the gap that had busted the seam on this weld. We pounded that gap as close as we could, got it as approximated together as we could. My dad roughed up the edges all around here, and we've got some of that marine JB weld on there. He has a TIG welder, y'all, but just doesn't have the bottle of gas right now to run it. But hopefully this can solve that pretty much near catastrophic failure that we had. I mean, if I wouldn't have turned around a little bit sooner, my butt end of my boat could have been all the way underwater, guys. I mean, when I realized what was going on, the water had reached the transom board, and the bilge pump was just barely keeping up, guys. So like I said, we avoided near catastrophe there, because I had all my gear on here, and I don't know what I would have done. That would have been terrible. But I got a pretty decent one, guys. Oh, that's why. Big old white bass. Buffet size. Good grief. When that water starts cooling down, guys, the big ones come out. He slaughtered that ultralight crank. Oh, there is another jumbo white bass. Whoa. Golly, those things hammer it. I'm catching them on that little chrome Crush 25 from 6 cents, guys. 15-inch white bass. Not bad. They hit like 4-pound bass, so I can tell you that. There's another one. You can just tell when they hit that they're not largemouth, man. They just smash it. Good grief. I'm not gonna complain about catching these things, guys. It's a lot of fun. That's another thing, guys, is when you find one of them, there's normally a lot together. It makes for really fast fishing after that. It's another chunky white bass, guys. Here's another really solid white bass, guys. Still with the chrome Crush 25. And I didn't tell y'all, I'm throwing it on my Dragon 2 Surinoya rod. I broke it the same day that I blew the transom out of this boat, but the upper half is a Dragon 1 that I had left over because I broke the bottom half of that blank. But then I got a Sioux Dark Wolf on it with 6-pound fluoro, guys. Makes fighting those white bass a lot of fun. There's one. Guys, I might have a good one. Kind of pulled me into the dock corner though, so I got to be really careful that he doesn't break me off. Oh, it's a big old white bass. Good grief. I should have known. Look at that. He's wrapped around my line. How does that even happen? I think when he wrapped in the line, it made him feel about 3 times as big as he was, too. That's a nice bass, guys. It's a really nice bass. Good grief. This spot just got fished by 2 big bass boats. Come here, buddy. Almost to 20, guys. Probably 19 3/4. Real close to 20 though. I got that on the Chrome Crush 25X from 6 cents. Surinoya Dragon 2 rod and a Sioux Dark Wolf with 6-pound fluoro, guys. Whoa. Good grief, guys. Right by the rocks. Guys, got one. It's a nice one too. Not bad at all. It's a pretty long one. Y'all, I want you to remember what this looks like. We have hardly any water by the boat ramp. I'm gonna have to get out and push it over about 4 inches of water up here soon. But there's grass growing where it used to be like 8 feet deep. So when it fills back up in the spring, I want y'all to remember how low it was right about now though. Y'all, I took this little boat to hell and back, caught a lot of big fish out of it, and made a lot of really good memories. But ultimately that stump was the death of it. That hole in the transom there, just not safe to take it out anymore. So y'all just witnessed the final trip of the tiny boat. But there is a new boat in store for y'all. Well guys, so what you just witnessed was a couple of pretty bittersweet trips. And the first one honestly was a nightmare. I mean, I went to a spot that has a lot of stumps and I found a stump, ripped a big old hole in my transom. To my surprise, I wanted one more hoorah in the old tiny boat, and thankfully the lake pulled through for us. But just went out for a couple hours to see if that JB weld would hold, and surprisingly enough, it did really well. I didn't run it hard, and I didn't run it in rough water, that's for sure. And the boat wasn't leaking any worse than it was before, so I was kind of surprised by that. But we ran into a frenzy of white bass there for a second, guys. That was a whole lot of fun, and was even able to find a few largemouth hanging around the courtesy docks and the marina, and caught one more really good bass in the tiny boat. Went down in a blaze of glory, guys. That tiny boat, as we speak, is retired, and it's going to be getting broken down, and I was able to find a replacement hull. Drove out to East Texas this morning and picked up a boat, just the boat, and it's going to serve as the new era tiny boat, we'll call it that. And I kind of want that to be a surprise, and when we get things transferred over and we got a rough draft of it, I'll show you all that and put it in another trip coming soon. But I think that is going to be a much safer and hardier alternative for as much as I beat things up, guys. And I just can't risk running that 12-footer as we're coming into cold water conditions, guys. I mean, I can't be out on the lake in December or January and have, you know, the transom splitting open or the bottom ripping out of that thing and me being out in deep water. Like, it'd just be a nightmare. It's not safe anymore at this point. And it takes a lot for me to admit that and to say that, but it's really not. It's not safe anymore. And I've got a little girl that I want to start taking on trips with me in the near future, you know, here in a year or two. And I want to have a safer alternative for not just myself, but for her more importantly, because that's the last thing I want to do is take, you know, your little baby out on the lake and have something horrible go wrong, and then she hates the water and doesn't ever want to go with you again. So hopefully this will be a good option for the future, guys, and it'll be a fresh start on the boat game for us. And I wanted to tell you too, so the trip where I ripped the hole in my transom and I broke that rod, I mean, just a complete nightmare, right? But if you remember, I broke my Dragon 1 at the base of the blank this summer, but what I didn't break was the upper half of it. So I still had that Dragon 1 upper half that was good, and I stuck it on the upper half of the Dragon 2 that I just broke a couple days ago, and it works like a charm. That's the rod that I was catching those white bass and that big bass on. So those two are interchangeable. I doubt any of you will be able to use that to your advantage, but that just goes to show, guys, keep some of your old gear even if you break it, because sometimes you can take parts off of it and use it to help repair some of the things that happen to you later on. Like, I've even used rod tip guides and further down the blank guides to replace some that have broken on me in the past. So just use that to your advantage too, save you a little money. But if y'all stuck with me this long, I really appreciate it. Leave a like for me if you enjoyed this one. Comment down below, talk to me about anything that you want to. I'll get back with you as soon as I can. Consider subscribing if you haven't yet, guys, and y'all take her easy. We'll catch you on the next one.